Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Raylan Story, Public Affairs Director for the City of Hollywood. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon and to welcome everyone to this ceremony on behalf of our Mayor, City Commission, and City Administration. Before I introduce today's speakers and honoree, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the other members of our City Commission who are here this afternoon for this occasion. We have Commissioner Linda Sherwood here today, and Commissioner Kevin Biederman. We are also very honored to have a representative from Memorial Hospital here, and as those of you who know Mr. Connell know, he served for many years on the South Broward Hospital District Board, so we're very pleased that you could make it here today. Zev Ross. Now, I'd also like to introduce our city manager, Kathy Swanson-Rivenbark, our city attorney, Jeff Scheffel, and our assistant city manager, Dr. Wazir Ismail. As you all know, we're here to remember and honor a page from Hollywood's rich history. In the coming year, Hollywood will celebrate its 90th anniversary. And in that 90 years, so many people have played a valuable part in building this community. In the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, one of those people was Maurice Connell. It's my pleasure to introduce our mayor, Peter Bober, who'd like to take a moment to share his gratitude for all of those who've come before and played such an important part in Hollywood's history.
Thank you for that incredible round of applause. You may all be seated. Hi, everybody. Thank you to that. Thank you, Linda. Well, it's very nice to be here, and I want to thank all the people who have showed up to be here today. I believe, as someone who has really, I really can't say that I knew Maurice Connell. I actually was elected back in 2000. And a lot of the great things that he did here in this city, a lot of the work that he did that benefited the residents, some who had maybe never even heard of Maurice Connell, but should be very grateful for the many things that he did in the city. He came a little bit before my time getting involved here in the City Commission. But as someone who grew up here in the city of Hollywood and believe very important in recognizing the pioneers of the city, the people who came before us and who had really kind of paved the way for the great things that we're able to do today. I think it's very important that those people not be forgotten to history. There's a great book called The History of Hollywood, which talks about all the great pioneers of the city of Hollywood. And that book has great pictures of some of the absolutely amazing structures that once were here in the city of Hollywood. And as someone who believes in historic preservation, as I know my colleagues here do, sometimes I look at some of these old pictures, and we have them here in City Hall on the ground floor, and you'll see things, old schools, old businesses, and you just kind of wonder where the history went. And I just don't think it's appropriate that people who have worked hard, past commissioners, past mayors, I think that it's very important that they be recognized for their achievements here in the city of Hollywood, and that when old structures make way for new structures, we recognize the people who brought us to where we are today. So although I can't say that I had a great opportunity to know Mr. Connell, I am very well aware of his achievements, the things that he did, the people that he knew, the people whose lives and careers he influenced in the city of Hollywood, which benefited the residents of the city. I'm very happy to be here today with my colleagues to recognize him, and I want to congratulate his family on his legacy. And I'm very happy to be here today, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to be here as well. Thank you very much.
When the plaque on the garage was removed for the demolition earlier last year, it was Commissioner Richard Blattner who wanted to make sure that there was some fitting way to pass that plaque along to Maurice Connell's family. And so I'd like to introduce Commissioner Blattner to say a few words.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. There are people in this room who knew Maury for a longer period of time than I did, but, and so I want to just recognize a few people who were important in his life and who actually helped put this together. Bob Guyson, whose idea I think this was to get that plaque out of the archives where it would have stayed forever and been forgotten, and try to present it in a way that had some meaning. Mr. Lemelman, who was a pharmacist for more than 10 years at Town Drug and who knew Maury well. Jeff Morano, who Jeff told me the other day that Maury was his rabbi, and Jeff was also in the Motorcycle Honor Guard at the funeral. I think he told me that as well. And I know there are others here who knew him well. I'm kind of lucky in a way because I did know Maury, and I served on the commission from '94 to 2000. And I was honored when Maury asked me to join him at Town Drug to sit at the round table. Now, most of you in this room have no idea what the round table was. Many of you have no idea that there was a Town Drug, there is anymore. But in its time, in the 80s, 90s, the round table was where Hollywood's politically elite met for lunch every day. Lawyers, doctors, political people, the table was not round, but it was in the front of the building on the street side. And if you were invited to join the round table, somehow or another you had arrived. I was flattered when I was invited to participate. I remember Maurice sat at the head of the table all the time. Dick Witt, former police chief, was there. Got to know Dick really well and respect him a lot. Maury had a great sense of humor, and it could be very biting and sarcastic at times, but it was quite an honor for me to participate in those lunches at the round table. And it's a passing in time when that doesn't exist anymore, but Maury's memory does. And so I'm very happy that Bob Guyson brought this to our attention, that it does no good to have a plaque languish in the archives somewhere, and I ask that we consider presenting it to Carmen, his wife. I have met Carmen a few times. Don't lose any more weight. And she's a lovely and charming woman, and I know that she and Maury had a lovely life together. And so Carmen, the mayor and I are going, we'll be very happy if you would step forward as we unveil the plaque for you to take a look at. And you can decide later what you want to do with it, but we're happy to be able to present it to you.
Thank you.
It weighs more than you do.
It's lovely. Actually, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Mayor, you want to read it?
Sure. It says Maurice J. Connell Parking Facility on June 26, 1985. The Hollywood City Commission dedicated this building in the name of Maurice J. Connell, who served the funding for this facility.
Thank you. Thank you. Words of thanks and appreciation. This is a very important moment for me. Thanks to all of you for attending this commemoration, remembering Maurice Connell good works he accomplished for the community and for the city of Hollywood. Thank you for the plaque. It's lovely. This plaque is, as many other service awards he received, is a testimony of the concerns and caring attitudes Maury had for others. It is my pleasure to receive this plaque, and I will find the best place to locate it and for all of you to see the plaque. It's beautiful. And I appreciate very much, and I give my special thanks to Mr. Robert Hazen and Mr. Dick Wagner, the two of main promoters of this event. Thanks again for attending to this day, and I don't know what else to say.
As all of you know, in the coming year, in our 90th year in Hollywood, we will open a new chapter in the history of the Johnson Street site with the opening of the Margaritaville Hollywood Beach Resort. It will be actually 30 years from the time that we opened the garage and 90 years since Joseph Young founded that site and began building his dream city by the sea. We hope you will all continue to be part of that dream vision for the city of Hollywood. This concludes our ceremony. Please take a moment to mingle and enjoy refreshments.
I had the pleasure and honor of meeting Maurice Connell some 26 years ago at Town Drug, where he lunched every day. I was invited at the table, although I don't know why, but Maurice was a kind, gentle, but very business-like fellow, and he helped everyone in any way that he could. It was quite an honor to have known him.
Carmen and family, I'm Judge Ron Rothschild. I came to Hollywood in 1974, and I had a law office in the Forum Building, and Maurice took me under his wing. I was one of his political proteges. I ran for city council, and unsuccessfully, 4 years later, I was elected to a county court judgeship, in large measure thanks to the lessons I learned from the unique, one and only Maurice J. Connell. So of blessed memory, and we wish you and the family all the best.
Okay, Jeff Morano, Broward County PBA. Was friends with Maury back in the 80s. He was an absolute rabbi, a mensch, great Irish humor, and loved me for being Irish and being a police officer and everything that we did in the city of Hollywood. But he was always there for the police officers, always there for the department, always there for Chief Witt, and always there for the city of Hollywood. And he's been missed dearly. But Maury was an American fighting man. He was in the Pacific during World War II. He had made captain. He was involved with the Kennedy campaigns, and he was always involved. And we're going to certainly, as we do, remember him, but we certainly do miss him dearly. Thank you.
And Jack Kennedy and President John Kennedy. And you have that picture. Oh, well, we'd love to borrow a copy.
I'll come and look at it. I should have gone there earlier today. Anyway, I'll send you the pictures.
Thank you.